Good evening. Good evening. Yes, uh, Belfast Boxing and Blues. I gotta try and speak louder, man. I gotta speak louder, but the louder I speak, the higher my voice sounds and the less manly I will come across in this video, which is a concern. That's a deep concern. Yeah, guys, just a quick roundup of some of the boxing news and stuff, Just gonna have a wee, just to leaf through some of the stuff that's going on in boxing scene. This is a dry run. Haven't looked at it, I swear. And you will find that out when you see how many of these names I've no idea about. So, look, top of the bill here, we've got Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. Great fight. Who doesn't want to see that? Ryan Garcia, for all of his flaws, is a very good fighter. You would have to fancy Devin Haney in that fight, but it should be exciting. It'll be a good build-up. It'll sell. It's another good opponent for Devin Haney. And who knows, if Ryan Garcia comes in fully prepared, we might see some good action. He's got that left hook, doesn't he? It goes well with the body as well. Did he drop Luke Campbell with a body shot? He might have done. Yeah. He's quick too, fast hands, yeah. Next up, Berlanga has come out and said, and I'm going to scroll right to the bottom because he said somewhere down here, McCrory isn't dangerous. Now he's come out and said, McCrory is my toughest test so far. A bit contradictory, but I think it's fair to say we're looking forward to that fight. By the way, that Haney Garcia fight is going to be held at the Barclays Center in New York on April 20th. So it's on the East Coast, which means it might be on a little bit earlier for us guys. So what's up after that? Former champ Porter, a fan of one of boxing's brightest divisions. We're going to have to click into this to find out which division it is. Big fan of Sean Porter. Great fighter and a fantastic guy. I really like his content. Let's see now. Super middleweight, so he's talking about Berlanga and McCrory here as well. Let's see what he has to say now. We'll get straight to the quotes. Now, there's a list here of some of the other guys in the division. The super middleweight division has got the sport talking. Several top contenders are in pursuit of boxing's top draw, Saul Canelo Alvarez. There are, among others, David Benavidez, Jamie Munguia, David Morrell. I'm going to do my best with these names. Diego Pacheco. Yet to see much of him. Jamal Charlo, the older one. Jamal, not Jamel. Christian Mibili, and Caleb Plant, who are all factors at the top of the tree. Obviously, Benavidez is sort of kind of top dog there, isn't he? Behind Canelo. Munguia is highly rated. Like I say, I haven't seen much of him, but I'll hopefully by the time you see me again, I'll have something to tell you about him. Morel, another highly rated guy out of Cuba. Morel, I think. Diego Pacheco. I'm gonna venture that he might be Mexican. Alright, I'm just gonna throw that out there. Jamal Charlo, yeah, he's getting on a bit, isn't he? And he's had his troubles, but we'll see what happens there. This Christian Mably, don't know anything about him. Caleb Plant, I love. Caleb Plant's a really good fighter. Obviously, he came up short against Canelo and Benavidez, but he fought the both of them. He didn't have to take that Benavidez fight, but he did. Caleb Fight's a great fighter to watch. So skilled, very slick, and he's got the shoulder roll and fast hands, sweet hands. I think they call him Caleb Plant, and he's got a nice bit of character about him as well. He's not afraid to get stuck in. I think there could be a whole lot more to come from Caleb Plant, and I believe he is coached by the Breadman, so he's in good hands there, isn't he? Former welterweight champion Sean Porter believes that Berlanga needs to show signs of improvement against Irishman McCrory at the Caribe Royale. The New Yorker Berlanga, 26 and of Puerto Rican heritage, opened his professional career with 16 consecutive first-round knockouts and then went the distance in his next 5 fights. The ring will tell the truth about you, Porter told Pro Box TV while discussing Berlanga. I think we learned the truth after we saw the knockouts. We saw he lacked a lot of the fundamentals that are needed to be at the top of the game. What he was doing was getting him to the top, and then it was almost as if he stalemated himself because of bad performances. I think Munguia is more than likely the next big fight for him after this fight he has coming up. What we've seen from Edgar is we've seen him not progress, and that is a problem when you're 26. You haven't got any better over the years after so many one round knockouts, and then on top of that, once you start having to go the distance, we're seeing holes in your game. We're seeing those same holes in your game 2 fights later. It's showing you're not going to get better. It sounds like he's just condemned him there to stagnation as showing that you're not going to get better. Well, he might start to get better. He might start to get better. There are holes in his game. That's probably owing to the fact that he has, had these 16 easy fights, and he's only really getting into his rounds now. I think he's a good fighter. I think he's a good fighter, and there's more to come from him. And reading comments like this from somebody that he would respect, like Sean Porter, hopefully will get him to buck up his ideas just a little bit. So this is what he goes on to say: "You are who you are. Let's capitalize on what you've done before we lose it, because all it takes is the right guy that doesn't have a name to knock him down and get a decision over him, and then it's all kaput." So yeah, I mean, he's sort of thrown him out a warning here, And let's see. Porter thinks Plant is still a threat despite defeats by arguably the two division leaders. Plant is 31. He's still quite young for a super middleweight, isn't he? With 22-2. Nothing wrong with that. 13 early wins, and he stopped Anthony Durrell, which was a really good performance, wasn't it, between his losses to Canelo in 2021 and Benavidez in 2023. So Plant can crack. Plant can crack as well as being a super skilled guy. And the thing about Plant is you don't see too many white American guys that have the sort of more urban skill set, and he really has that stuff down. And I think that he really gave Canelo a lot of trouble for the first 5 or 6 rounds in that fight, because he was bobbing down with the shoulder roll, he was bobbing down. I'm not sure what was Canelo's. I think it was Canelo's right hook that he was avoiding. And Canelo was frustrated. He was getting out of the way of the jab. He was getting out of the way of the right hand again and again and again, because he's quite slick. And then Canelo started to have to dig in with the left hook downstairs, almost nearly an uppercut, and that's when he started to catch him. It took him a little while to make that adjustment. Canelo, I think most people could see that early on in the fight, but obviously when you're in the ring, it's a different thing. It takes you a little while to catch on, and making adjustments, they say, is one of the sort of hallmarks of a more mature fighter. So, it's not all just about skills. You got to think tactically and stuff, and trying to change things up on the fly. Like I say, what does he go on to say now? Porter believes Plant has the beating of Munguia, and a certain Plant would beat Berlanga. Certain of it? I think the Canelo fight got Plant prepared for the David Benavidez fight, Porter said, of Plant performing better against Benavidez than Canelo. That's a little bit confusing. When you go to the top and you don't get what you want, now the question becomes, are you the gatekeeper? How much longer are you going to go? And all these things. I can tell you that Caleb is training right now. He loves this sport, and he has no intention of having 2 more fights and quitting. He still wants it. Porter also, this is a long article, man. I don't know if we have time. I love Sean Porter. I love these middleweights, these super middleweights, man. But we don't have all day here, Sean. Right, where are we? Porter also has his eyes on 2 of the division's upcoming stars, Mibili. I'm gonna have to go looking about these guys. And Pacheco, top ranks Frenchman. Okay, so the French guy. I'm gonna go out on another limb here. I'm running out of limbs, and say that he is a guy of African heritage, judging by this name and the spelling of it, Mbilli. Yeah, it sounds like it. And we get a lot of these French fighters that tend to have an African background. I've been to France. I know that's no big whoop. A lot of people have been to France, but there are a lot of people from African heritage that live in France and have been there for years. I mean, I don't know really, but There you go. Just a bit of conjecture there. Anyway, top ranks Frenchman and Billy Borden Cameron is 26-0 with 22 stoppages and impressed with a January destruction of brave Australian Rohan Murdoch. Nice name. Matchroom's Macheco is 20-0 with 12 KOs and boxes in Las Vegas in April. Of Mbili, Porter said this guy is one of the hardest hitting super middleweights in the world right now. He's got a good look, he's got good experience. I've looked at his amateur pedigree, he's got the goods. He's a name that flies under the radar, but he has everything to take him to the top. Porter was concerned that there were so many unbeaten fighters in the weight category because it meant the best are not boxing the best. But he is equally high on Pacheco's potential. He's 6'2" and 100% valid from Porter stated he can box, he can hit hard. So there we go, guys. There's a lot of players in the middleweight division, and yeah, I mean, it's sort of said now that it's one of the glamour divisions. I mean, sort of traditionally it would be welterweight and middleweight have been, outside of the heavyweight division, obviously, which is always kind of the main draw, especially with casual fans and such. And the welterweight division hasn't been that hot of late. If we think back to the Mayweather, Pacquiao days, there were so many great fighters in and around welterweight, and guys were moving up and into. And I suppose we may see, seeing that your Haney's and your Teofimos and your Duran Garcias are operating at 140. When those guys get a little bit older and start to move into 147, then we may see a return to form for that division, and we might see some good matchups. Let's see, what else do we have here? Shiraz, Hamzat Shiraz, is it? Ian Eubank Jr. He has a mandatory there, but obviously he's looking at this Eubank fight, which is sort of would be big news and big money. Keyshawn Davis prepared to visit UK to face Adam Azim. That could be a dangerous fight for Adam Azim. He's a very skilled guy. I don't think he has the necessary experience just yet. I think he needs a couple of more fights to sort of pass his chin test and come through adversity a bit more before he's ready for somebody that is as talented as Keyshawn Davis. The same could be said for him. There's a few more tests for him as well. I don't think you want to match those two guys just yet. It would be nice to see. So at least they're talking about it now. Let's see what happens as the year progresses. Pulev Char. Pulev still going. Char still going. That's official for March 30 in Sofia. Yes. I don't know where Sofia is, so we're going to click this to find out. Let's see what these guys are at. These old heavyweights. Former world title challengers Kubrat Pulev and Mahmoud Char will fight in the Bulgarian capital of Sofia. There we are, to contest, March 30th that is, to contest the vacant lesser version of the WBA heavyweight title. So what do we have there? There's silver, there's interim, there's super, there's all of these different bits and pieces. Most of the divisions have a lesser version, don't they, these days? So anyway, it's a 12,000 seat arena. Hopefully they can fill that out. Like to see a good card in that. Obviously that's in Bulgaria, which is good for Bulgaria. That could be a good fight. Let's see what else we got going here, guys, because we got a bit of stuff to get through before my baked potatoes end up like little chicken nuggets. Keanu still knocking on the door for big fights beyond Giazov. Now here are these guys. These cruiserweights, I've got a feeling it's cruiserweights. So we're going to find out. Yeah, this guy looks pretty big. Mexican veteran Pablo Cesar Keanu steps back into the trenches on Saturday night for the 46th time as a professional. Joe Calzaghe, 46-0. I'm not sure if this guy's got an undefeated record. Let's see. Super lightweight. Okay. Co-main event. Caribe Royale against the undefeated Shakram Giazov before Edgar Berlanga and Patrick McCrory. So this is sort of the main support, or the co-main. This other guy, Uzbek Giazov, is the favourite, 14-0 with 9 knockouts, but Keanu was hoping to score his 26th stoppage victory against 8 losses and a draw. The Mexican, who has won two in succession since his loss to Danielito Zorrilla in 2021, recognises a big performance is crucial against Giazov. Let's see what he has to say here, because it's only a couple of lines, and then we're going to get to the juicy stuff here. Every fight is important and must win. Absolutely, Kano says. My main motivation is my family, my daughters, and my wife. I'm with you all the way. Don't know about the wife, but certainly, let's keep the daughters sweet, and to give them maybe let's keep the wives, let's keep the divorcees sweet as well, man. And to give them the best possible opportunities. So anyway, he's done this and he's done that. Let's see. He's boxed in huge bills and fought several notable fighters, including back-to-back the Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi, and Shane Mosley in 2012 and 2013. So this guy goes back a bit. Like, he was fighting in that classic era of welterweight, the most recent one, for us. So he's done all right. Let's see. There's a lot going on there. We're going to skim quickly through these ones, and then we're going to get to Paulie Malignaggi's new feature on Boxing Scene. So Valle starts camp for Estrada. Okay, we're gonna be seeing Estrada in action. Great. Let's see what the story is here. Oh, this it's not the Estrada I was thinking of. This is a couple of ladies, unified WBO and IBF strawweight world champion. Yocasta Valle has started her training camp. She's doing such and such, preparing to fight the WBA and WBC champion Seniesa Estrada. So there we go, undisputed fight. She'll be training at Freddie Roach's Wildcard Boxing Club in Hollywood, Los Angeles, so she's in good hands there. I have adapted very well to this camp, she said, after the first few days in training. I am used to the rain in Costa Rica, so I feel good doing 10 rounds of sparring in such a short time. Yeah, we get a lot of rain here. I imagine Costa Rica, the rain's a bit milder than what we get in Britain and Ireland. My team and I are creating plans A, B, C, and all the way to Z to conquer this fight. That's a lot of plans, but you go. I'm sure Seniesa isn't aware of how hungry I am, and she thinks this fight is going to be easy. My hard work will show the moment Seniesa steps into the ring and realizes she was wrong. I'm training alongside great champions and hungry prospects. I'm training like I have no other option but to win. I'm determined to show the world that dreams happen if you work hard for them. And believe me, I'm putting in the work. I'm Costa Rican, but not only am I feeling the love and support from my country, I'm feeling the support from everyone. Mexico, USA, Japan, Spain, UK, Central America, South America, and so many countries. I'm humbled to feel their support. Well, that's really lovely. That's actually quite nice to read. Must tune in and watch that. Let's find out now just when that is. March 29th, Desert Diamond Arena in Glendale, Arizona. That's going to be on ESPN, so I'm sure we'll get seeing it one way or another. Now, I'm going to clean up because these my potatoes they're going to be done, man. They'll be chips. So like these guys, that guy's Catterall, relieved to finally have an answer to the same old question. Do you know what? I've seen a great interview with Catterall and Josh Taylor in the TalkSport offices studio, and Catterall looked a bit short of words at times, and Josh Taylor was putting it on him. He was saying, you need Sam Jones to talk. You don't have any of your own ideas, Jack. But when they were in the studio, it was quite strange because suddenly Josh had calmed down. He was like, I'm not mad at anybody. And Catterall was quite relaxed, and it was very convivial. It was nice to see Catterall relaxed, not worked up, not tense, not caught up with nervous energy, and he was expressing himself quite well. It was nice to hear. Former champion Michael Murr calls for super heavyweight division. Let's just get a quick look at that. Like I say, we want to get on the Paulie's feature, don't we? That's the real juice. Michael Murr, always seemed to be a small guy to have won the heavyweight title, heavyweight championship of the world, no less. And the big fight was him against Foreman, wasn't it? When it would be bad to be remembered for that, wouldn't it? But he's still a former world light heavyweight and heavyweight champion. Forget about cruiserweight, man. This guy, this guy just jumped. So he believes that there's room at the top for another weight division in boxing. You know what? That mightn't be a bad idea considering look at the size of the heavyweights that we have now. But you would imagine that heavyweight would remain the sort of glamour division and the main thing, and super heavyweight would maybe you get your you get your big baby Millers in there and stuff like that. Some of these bigger guys, and maybe that would give them a chance to some of the lesser guys that were bigger and not as skilled to go and get a title. Who knows? Who knows? It's an idea, isn't it? Garcia carries on family business against Davis. What's going on here, man? What is going on? Da 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 da. Oh, it's not Ryan Garcia, Elijah Garcia, and Cairo Davis, who's also trained by Breadman, Stephen Edwards, super middleweight. I think he fought Benavidez at one time. Pretty good showing against him, seems to be a decent fighter. Veteran, he's referred to as here. Oh, they're at middleweight actually, so he must have jumped up to fight Benavidez. So you got to give these guys credit. And this is in the main event of the Amazon Prime prelims before the Keith Thurman versus Tim Tszyu pay-per-view card on Saturday, March 30th. T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Now, he's a fourth-generation boxer. Fighting is the family business, and the Garcias seem to pass down boxing from generation to generation. And the 6 foot, 20 years old native of Arizona wants a world title, something that has eluded his name for 3 generations. So he's a right height, this guy. My father was a good amateur, but as a pro, he didn't really make it. My grandpa didn't really make it. He says, it didn't put any pressure on me because I do the sport because I love it. But it is kind of in the blood. We all have that same mentality of how we do stuff, how we get stuff done, and what it takes to win. I can relate to that, right? As although my parents were boxers and stuff, my grandfather was a champion greyhound trainer, and he was the best in Ireland, really, at a time, and there's a real craft to that, and he was, come out of a small place, Killeland, County Tyrone, and he was Tommy Coleman, he was the top guy. My other grandfather, he liked a bit of whiskey, but he was known as the best plasterer in Cookstown, my hometown, and he was like a fine plasterer. He was the best. There was a certain amount of respect there, so obviously, whatever it is that you do, to have a certain amount of understanding of it and a hunger to and a pride that you take in your work, there's something nice about that, and then you can draw pride saying, oh well, hey man, I come from a line of these guys, It gives you a bit extra support, doesn't it? So, and funny, I had an uncle who's a boxer, Uncle Vinny, who just passed recently. Rest in peace, Uncle Vinny. He was a great guy. Got into quite a bit of trouble when he was younger, and throughout his life he was a bad boy, but he boxed when he was younger, and he was quite promising. And like I say, he sort of went down the route of getting into trouble and stuff like that. But he was a great guy that I would spend a lot of time with, and then would try to pass on things to me, yeah, he. I think a lot of the things that he said to me, although at the time I didn't really realise it, have come to help me quite a bit now, Anyway, where are we here? Ward sees egos in boxing, stopping UFC model from being adopted. So what we're talking about here is the best fighting the best more often. Egos in boxing, there's a lot of them. It's kind of part of the sport. Love Andre Ward, Oakland, California. Last male US Olympic gold medalist, undefeated 2-weight world champion, who's become a voice for many boxers who are voiceless. Ward recently spoke at a private event hosted by former world title contender Brandon Gonzalez, and Ward discussed whether boxing could ever have one governing body that runs the sport. I know people float that idea. That's a really bad impression of Andre Ward, isn't it? I know people float that idea of a UFC model, and I respect what Dana and the UFC have done. Ward stated, I think it is a little bit too much control. I would have to see someone put together something and see if it makes sense. Ward, who won titles at super middleweight and light heavyweight, was meticulous in the crafting of his career. He retired at 32-0, 16 knockouts, and resisted the urge to return, having defeated the likes of Carl Froch, Michael Kessler, Sergey Kovalov, which was a great win, and Chad Dawson, which was a great one too. I watched that fight quite closely. It was beautiful what he done in that fight. He was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame as part of the class of 2021, first ballot straight in. Yeah. Ward originally was signed to Goose and Tudor Promotions, but following a dispute, he went to Rock Nation Sports. The son of God, Ward knew about the benefits of an open marketplace and learned how to maximise his worth. It would have to be a person with billions of dollars to get all of the promoters to agree to come under that, Ward added, about one federation taking over. There are too many egos in boxing, from the promoters to the managers, to agree to just let one person run it. Ward thinks a lot of people in the sport are too proud to come together for the greater good. Could be something in that. Maybe. Boxing as a business has not seen a lot of humility. For the best to link hands with the best, it would mean someone would have to be less powerful. Ward said to Gonzalez, personally, I don't think that is ever going to happen. Well, there you are. I mean, Andre Ward obviously is someone that is concerned with and someone that cares about the future of boxing and wants to see it develop in the right way and the best things happen and the best system and infrastructure there in place for fighters to make sure that all fighters, not just the big names, are well compensated for the dedication and stuff, you know, that they give to the sport, and also to see that the best fight the best, and you know, people can't duck so easily and hide behind this belt and that mandatory and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to agree with that sort of stuff. Often, you know, one or two people, and obviously Ward has quite a bit of influence and someone that is well respected, will stand up and say these type of things. And yeah, I mean, it's hard to sort of step out of the shadows and support them. You know, it's kind of like Jerry Maguire, if you ever see that film, Tom Cruise. I was talking about this film to a friend the other night. And I like Tom Cruise. We were talking about our favourite actors. He's a movie buff. I don't know much about movies, and I says, you like, we were talking, he mentioned a couple of guys, you know, and I was like, yeah, he's good, you know. So like Tom Cruise, and he was disgusted. He doesn't like Tom Cruise. He doesn't rate him, you know. He says, he's all right. He always plays the same character. So I like Tom Cruise, man. So, look, Cruise comes in one morning, he's an agent or whatever it is, he comes into the office with this amazing thing, he puts it on everybody's desk. This is his manifesto. This is what I would like to see, you know. And everybody, they give him a big hand, I think, they all clap, you know. Everybody gives him the tune, wow, well done. But when it comes to when anybody stand with him, you know, there was one person, it was the girl, they end up falling in love, you know. So I mean, he did all right. He did all right out of it. So anyway, Nakatani. This must be. Paulie's going to talk about this anyway, so we can get into this. This isn't the guy that, or is it? There's a Nakatani that the Josh Taylor fight Nakatani. A guy up at that weight, and I think Teofimo might have fought a Nakatani, the same guy. Josh Taylor might have fought a different guy. Someone put him down inside a few rounds, fifth round, I think it was, whatever. Cortez believes Valdez could be his fight of the year. But another interview, we're going to have a really quick look at this. Andres Cortez wants all the big names at 130 pounds. Cortez picked up a fourth round title nostalgic. Alright, so we've got this guy at 130. He's from Las Vegas. He wants all the big names. He doesn't feel spiteful of being overlooked. He seems to believe this is all part of the process of being a prize fighter. He is one fight away from a moment that could change his life. Cortez reassured anyone willing to listen to that the money is simply secondary at this moment. He wants to create a legacy in the sport. So again, we have another idealist here. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know. Just watch out for your money into things too, man. You know, make sure you get paid. And last on the list, we have Berlanga saying McCrory isn't dangerous. We already spoke on that, and I already did a big video on McCrory anyway. So just before the spuds go black, I'm like the days of the famine. Yeah. in 47, 1847. Never forget where you're coming from, because this could all be someone else's dream. Polly Malnagi's picked Nakatani connects closer to a new age, chocolate, Tito, Estrada, and more. So look, we've got Polly's picks has suddenly appeared after Breadman's bag got pulled. His thing now. Like I say, hopefully that's going to be on another website. I'm sure it will, because it's top value stuff. But Polly has found a new feature. The two might not be related anyway. Here's what Polly has to say. Now, we might have to read this in Polly Malinagi's voice, or as close as we can get to it, in order to get the true value from it. Maybe a little bit. Let's see how we go here. Japan's Junto Nakatani, who fights Alexandro Santiago. Here we go for the WBC bantamweight title. Bantamweight's 122, isn't it? 126 is super. I think so. Anyway, it's at the Ryogoku Kukugikan Tokyo on Saturday. Can't fight, so he rates this guy. For a fighter who's already won titles, not going to go there, at flyweight and super flyweight, he's tall and his reputation is growing. His knockout of Andrew Maloney in May 2023 was impressive. Maloney had already established himself in the US, so for Nakatani to knock him out as he did. Do you know what? This is a really long article. I'm just going to read it to myself. And you know what you should do is go on the boxing scene, look up Paulie's picks, and dig what the Magic Man has to say, because let's look at it this way too. He's a top guy. We like to hear from Paulie. We get to hear lots of him from ProBox TV and on his own channel. I prefer it even more because it's straight up. There's no real limits on it. Now he's under the Boxing Scene banner here, so I'm sure he has to adhere to other certain little bits and pieces. But it's Paulie Malignaggi, and it's in type, it's in writing, so we're getting from a slightly different angle, you know. You might read it and hear his voice as you read it, but I have a feeling it's going to be something worth looking at, and something that on the regular will be a nice wee pit stop for all of us. Guys, look, that's the long and short of it. One last thing, I wanted to say something about football, because why not? Man United has a new investor, Sir Jim Ratcliffe. What do we learn from his first address? So he came out and made his first address. Sir Jim Ratcliffe's minority stake of Manchester United was ratified this week. The British billionaire will take control of 27.7% of the club and will control United's football operations. In a first address, Ratcliffe discussed Eric Ten Hag's future, a new stadium, and more. Yeah, so this guy's come in. Do you know what? He's a good-looking guy. I don't know why he was knighted, but he was, so he's got something going for him. He's a great-looking guy. He's sort of like a Richard Branson type guy, you know, the guy with the Virgin. He owns Virgin. Oh, good-looking, this philanthropist, billionaire guy, you know. So this fella's come in here, and which is great news, because obviously the American family, the Glazers, have held the majority of the stake in Man United for a lot of years. Some people put United's sort of failures down, you know, since Ferguson's left, down to the Glazers, you know. So it'll be interesting to see. It's a minority stake. He's got about a quarter of the stake, but he will have some input, quite a lot, I would imagine. And we might start to see a bit of a change in how things are going for Man United. And you know what? The more of a change we see, the more you're going to hear me talking about it. And, you know, it's football, isn't it? Guys, Belfast, boxing and blues, have yourself a lovely